PayPal stock just had a really bad day, down over 4% as of recording this video. It edged up just a touch in the after hours, but still down about $2.50 per share just on the day today. So what's going on? PayPal got a downgrade from Wallstreet analyst at Mizuho. We're going to talk about this guy on tip ranks, where he ranks, what his average return is, how often he's right, and all those things, just to kind of put some clarity around this. And then we're going to talk about the reality of what's going on with PayPal and what I think is going to happen with this company moving forward, and whether or not this is something you should worry about. Before we get into all that, thank you so much for being here. If you're new here, I'm Austin. I'm a co-owner of cloudindustry.com. I'm also a stock market investor, and most importantly for this video, I am a shareholder of PayPal, and I'm a current buyer of PayPal over the last many months. And with today's move down, I'm actually down on my shares just a teeny tiny little bit. And yes, I did go ahead and acquire more PayPal shares here today on this 4% move downward, buying into the weakness just a little bit. Real quick, if you're not subscribed, we're really close to that 2,600 subscriber mark. If you're not subscribed already, become one of those people, as I thank you for doing that. Here's a picture of some of my animals. I appreciate you in a major way. Let's get into the video. So it's really clear, and it's becoming even more clear over the last quarter, Q4 of 2023, that Wall Street is still bearish on PayPal. And it seems like retail is very bullish on PayPal. Almost everyone that I've heard, with the exception of a few people here and there who are interested in PayPal, think it's going to be an absolute banger in 2024 and in 2025. And a lot of people are saying some pretty large claims like, yeah, we're going to get a 2x this year. Yeah, we're going to get a 3x this year. I don't necessarily think all of that is true. Those are some pretty high price targets from those people. But I do think we're going to get a nice appreciation on our shares. So what happened with this Mizuho analyst? Who is he? What did he say about the stock? What were his concerns? Let's chat about it, okay? He pulled his price target from a $72 price target. And remember, this is a 1-year price target down to a $65 price target. So from where the stock is today, $58.50 or so, that's still about a 10% gain this year. So it's not like he's saying the stock is going to drop in a major way. He's just saying, hey, we're probably not going to have a banger year in PayPal, in his opinion. He more so sees like an average year in line with the average S&P 500 return of about 10%. To me, this is a really safe play from him. It's not like he's making a huge claim to the upside, huge claim to the downside. He's just kind of saying, yeah, it's probably going to be a meh year for PayPal. I don't blame him. PayPal has been meh for quite a while. It's actually been in a terrible, awful down cycle. Check out this multi-year chart right here. Stock dropped from the $300 range to where it is today. If you've been a shareholder since 300, oh my God, you're like way down on those shares. But back to the analyst, not to put this guy on blast too much, but Dan Dolev is the guy who went ahead and downgraded PayPal today and gave that $65 price target. He's a Mizuho analyst. So his success rate, 51% of his picks have made a profit in a 1-year span. So you could basically flip a coin and figure out if you're going to make a profit or not based on this guy's picks. He could have literally flipped a coin and said, this stock's going to go up, this stock's going to go down. Flip a coin and you would have had the same success rate as Dan Dolev. Also, his average return over the past year, while the stock market as a whole was up over 20%, his average return on his picks was 0.5%. So not looking too good for Dan Dolev. Also, he's ranked 4,400 out of 8,670 Wall Street analysts. So he's somewhere right in the middle ground there. His main reason for the downgrade was he cited major competitive threats from Apple's payment system. So I just got one quick thought on that. Yes, Apple is absolutely a beast, and their payments handling in Apple Pay is absolutely getting bigger and bigger and growing into a beast. And yes, they're probably taking some market share from PayPal, and that's evidenced by the fact that PayPal's connected accounts have been dropping very consistently, very slowly over the last few quarters. We'd like to see that trend reverse as PayPal shareholders, of course, but it's not the absolute end of the world when you take all other things into account with PayPal, and we'll chat about a few of those things here in a sec. But you say an entire company like PayPal, which transacts globally across pretty much every country in the world, when you say that the entire company's success is at jeopardy due to Apple Pay, you gotta use your brain a little bit, okay? So about 80% of the world does not have an iPhone. About 21% of all people worldwide have an iPhone. With a global company like PayPal, that leaves about 80% of people, 79% of people that don't have an iPhone, that aren't going to be using Apple Pay. Where do people use Apple Pay on? Yeah, they use it on their iPhone, okay? If you're not in the Apple ecosystem, you're not going to be using Apple Pay. I know tons of people that are in the Apple ecosystem that have absolutely no interest in using Apple Pay whatsoever at all for any reason. They would rather use PayPal, they would rather use Venmo, they would rather use a regular old credit card like MasterCard, Visa. There can be more than one player in a payment space, okay? If that wasn't true, Visa and MasterCard couldn't coexist at the same time. Those are both absolutely beastly companies. Take it outside of the payment space. When Target's coming up, where people saying, oh, well, there's no way they can make it, there's no way they can be a successful company because Walmart exists. No, no one was saying that, and if they were absolutely delusional. Is it a well-run company? Is it at a great value? Are they growing nicely? Is their net income growing faster than their revenue? Is it a great investment decision for me to put my money in to get a nice return over the next few years? That's what the question is, okay? Over a 1-year span, the competitive landscape on payment processing is not going to change so much that PayPal becomes irrelevant. You get what I'm saying? So what are the facts here? PayPal's still growing in the low double digits, which is very impressive for an extremely established payment processor like PayPal. They've got a new CEO who's bringing in all types of growth and young energy with new executive team focused on growing the small and mid-sized businesses category, focused on building Braintree, focused on building Venmo, and still, of course, having their legacy product of PayPal, which is that higher margin product. I think the growth outlook is better in the next few years than it was in the past few years. But even if they just keep growing 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% on the revenue on the top line, I'll still be a happy shareholder because they're growing that net income at about a 20% clip on a regular basis. That's extremely impressive. The company, the business is becoming more and more efficient. The net income growing faster than revenue is a great indicator that this management team has their head on straight. And I think Alex Chriss is going to be far better than Dan Schulman ever was for PayPal. That remains to be seen, but that's my opinion as of right now based on what Alex Chriss has done so far and his past at Intuit. With this fintech beast trading at an 18 trailing PE and an 11 forward PE, and by the way, those numbers are probably a little bit lower now after today because it takes about a day or two to update these PE numbers most of the time. It'll be really hard for me to stay on the sidelines with a company with such a strong moat like PayPal has with those type of valuation numbers on the PE metrics. Throughout 2024, I think we're going to see revenue growth have an uptick. I think we'll keep on seeing about double the net income growth as we do revenue growth. And they've still got that crazy share buyback going on. So even as those net income numbers keep on getting better, we're going to see the EPS look even better than the net income numbers. And don't forget, that's at a trailing PE of 18 and a forward PE of 11 already. But as they keep on taking shares off the market, we're going to keep on getting those EPS numbers boosted up and up and up and up because they're bringing the total number of shares outstanding lower. On the next conference call, I want to hear Alex Chriss talk about the margin numbers and his plan to get the margin numbers in a better spot. That's what started this big downward spiral for PayPal, was the margin numbers absolutely crumbling. A mix of inflationary pressures and more of a lower margin product being the flagship product of PayPal now. Slow transition to a slightly lower margin product with Venmo and Braintree becoming the staples of the PayPal organization. That was what kind of started to move these margins lower. And like I said, that was what started the big down cycle in the share price for PayPal. The PE numbers can stay absolutely amazingly attractive, and I don't think Wall Street's going to get bullish until we hear a story and a very clear action plan on how to get the profit margin numbers back in a better spot and the operating margin numbers back in a better spot. All in all, I'm not really putting too much stock into this guy's opinion of PayPal. Even if he is right, we'll still get about a 10% return this year from where the stock is today. I did pick up some more shares today. I'm still building PayPal. It's not a top 5 holding for me or anything like that, but I'm going to keep on building all the way through Q1, potentially through Q2 of 2024. I'm going to keep on acquiring shares pretty much every single week, sometimes every day of the week. Let me know down below if you own PayPal shares, if you're sitting on the sideline, if you absolutely won't touch it. I want to hear about it. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Always like seeing people's perspectives and opinions in the comments. That's one of my favorite parts of posting here on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here with us. Hope you enjoyed it. Have an amazing day.